Sonic Universe Issue 14. We start out right away with the Yagyu ninjas attacking Sonic and his friends. Sally says arbitrarily that the ambush is sloppy, and that this proves the clan isn't as organized or disciplined as the others. Naturally, they're all just thugs. She then reasons that it's sloppy because the Gossamer clan did the same kind of ambush on them, and they were caught in seconds. Yeah, and they must have been especially skilled if they were able to knock out Monkey Khan. Did they use sleeping gas, a hit to the head? It's annoying that we never actually got to see Sonic's friends being kidnapped last time to try to justify how it happened. Eventually, the ninja reveals he had no idea that the heroes were the ones their leader sent for, even though he should have recognized Monkey Khan at the very least. That was forced. Sonic's lampshades, they don't even look like they're from here, as Tails bans him with his tails. This kind of idiocy from him would only make sense if he was lying to avoid getting thrown in the water. Sally then asks if the Yagyu clan's bride being dead would make things harder for the heroes, since without a proper bride, they may not fall back on tradition, but they may not want to give up the Iron Queen, their only bride, either, since then they'd be without an actual leader. They get brought to an ancient temple, and the leader smugly belittles their victory over the Spider Clan, and insults them for having to retreat from the Iron Queen. Then he has the nerve to taunt Khan for being forced to kill a whole bunch of freedom fighters, which is the definition of bullying the dragon. You'd think he'd be too scared to taunt someone who can throw lightning at him at will, especially someone with an infamous temper. Sonic at least lampshades his stupidity, saying, "Real classy, Chief." Fortunately, Sally reassures Khan silently with a gesture, preventing him from losing his temper. All the more proof that she's a better girlfriend for him. No one else has been shown to be able to do that for him so easily. I think it's that he's just trying to humor her. The leader then asks for a private audience with Khan and Sally, with Sonic being flattered that he seems intimidated by him, and Tails being outraged and going to an egomaniacal rant at being called a mere child. Unless this gets revealed to be from him feeling insecure, this kind of egomania seems very out of character from him. I'd expect Lost World Tails to have this kind of swelled head behavior. Sonic just reassures him that this saves them from having to listen to boring political babble. The Yagyu leader explains that the Yagyu used to be assassins and only later stooped to thievery after the bride consolidated the clan. Wow, that's backwards morality. He thinks that murdering people with a sword randomly is fine, but thievery is something that's stooped to. Stealing lives is fine, but stealing things. Not surprisingly, he sets the two up for a trap because he hates being told what to do. I guess he really hated his parents then. You'd think Sally would be a lot more suspicious with Sonic being sent out of the room, considering that one of her main personality flaws is supposed to be paranoia. But apparently she was more paranoid of Jeffrey upon meeting him than she was of this obvious slime ball. Back outside, Tails gets calmed down from his egomaniacal rant as Sonic compliments him. And when he lampshades his behavior, asking why he got so worked up, Fiona reveals herself to be here and makes a stinging remark about how he's still hung up over this lowlife. I guess she takes lowlife as a compliment? How? I guess it's rebellious, it means rebel, and rebels are cool. Also, where was that kind of insult skills earlier? Here she has a dude not funny insult against Tails for still being hung up on her, instead of being way too uncomfortable with a kid being in love with her to want to talk about it. Why couldn't she have insulted Sally that badly? In fact, she would have had way more reasons to do so against her, since Sally was all judgmental against her for a checkered past, while Tails was accepting of her and even saved her life once. I guess her being uncomfortable with his crush on her makes her mad enough to do that? Already this isn't written well, as she's acting like a bland, generic villainess right away. When she's asked why she's in the Dragon Kingdom of all places, instead of immediately just answering that she was safe from Eggman here, she says she'll tell them once they catch her, and flings herself off a bamboo branch. Fortunately, it's actually explained why Sonic doesn't immediately catch up to her with super speed, as he explains that the bamboo is so thickly grown together that it can't build up any speed. He'd just crash into it. Even though I'd expect these trees to be so easily broken that he could just spin dash through all of them, but that's probably where his nature lover comes in. Though he's not saying that. Tails lampshades that they should have just flown them over. Fiona bends another tree, creatively flinging herself away, I guess that's where her intelligence comes in, and sends some trees at the two of them, getting Sonic to finally spin dash through the trees, only to get caught and grabbed by Sergeant Simeon's hand. And then his hand proceeds to be completely cut apart by Sonic's sharp spines. No, wait, of course not. That's not what happened. Because that would have made sense. Instead, arbitrary conflict happens as he's able to grab his sharp spines just fine and slam him into the ground. Fiona is of course with the Destructics again, even though she showed a lot of resentment for Sleuth, because I guess she needs to feel like she's in some sort of group and she'd be lonely otherwise. If she was truly going completely back to the old her, you'd think she would be perfectly fine with being alone, like after Nicolette ditched her, or before she met her. Instead, basically admitting that she needs other people, that she needs to rely on and trust other people like she said she'd never do again. Of course, no one will point out this hypocrisy, as the Destructics are too busy having way too easy a time with superpowered heroes. Predator Hawk even says that Tails is making this too easy for him. Fiona looks concerned as Sonic spin dashes at and off Simeon's chest, not knocking him over or anything, while saying exactly what I'm thinking. I'm getting so tired of dealing with you guys. Exactly. Somehow, Flying Frog is able to grab Sonic and send him to the ground, when Sonic is faster than him. Then Sally tells the leader of the Yagyu that if he rejects the Iron Queen, he'll be free to choose a bride that he'll like for his clan, and he'll be recognized by the King of the Free People. The leader then lampshades how Sally clearly wasn't listening to him, and has to reiterate that he's not interested in having anyone tell him what to do. He unfortunately justifies why he's so fine with the Iron Queen telling him what to do then. At least with her, the Yagyu were able to stand up to the other clans. The leader fails to understand that his people are being used for evil, as Sally is once again stupid by not explaining why it's evil. And when she reminds him that the Iron Queen's the only one profiting from this arrangement, the leader shrugs it off for some reason, because it was the same way with the Bride of Rich Knights. Now the leader looks like the idiot. Also, the writer can't keep the story straight for 2 seconds, because just a few paragraphs ago, the leader said that with the Iron Queen, at least the clan can stand up to the other clans. But now we're being expected to believe that they didn't benefit from the arrangement at all. Make up your mind. Khan reasons with him that the Yagyu stopped being a clan altogether, they'd no longer be considered a threat to the other clans, and be free to move about the Dragon Kingdom staking out their claim. Even though I'm sure that the Yagyu people would always consider themselves to be a clan anyways, because of tradition. So, even if it's not official anymore, they'd still act like a clan, wouldn't they? The leader says that then they'd be free people, and he refuses to accept Khan as their king. Khan says that he doesn't have to, as he's just a protector of the people, and he'll be busy keeping the peace between the clans and won't be able to keep up with a group of unorganized thieves. The leader likes the idea of returning back to the old regional lords, and having no more codes of conduct or ceremony, which he foreshadowed earlier, so he agrees. That was nice, I thought there would be a fight instead. That's especially a twist considering the douchebag way they acted earlier. Khan explains that his plan is even more genius than I thought. He thinks that only a third of the Yagyu will actually want to go back to their ancient ways, another third won't want the cushy lifestyle that the Iron Queen brought them to end, and the rest will try to profit from this in any way they can. So the Yagyu will be so busy fighting each other over the scraps that they won't have the manpower or resources to bother anyone else. I refuse to believe that the same guy who is too stupid to warn Bunny about the Iron Queen's powers intentionally thought that this civil war would result from his convincing before he did it. I think he only realized he caused the civil war after the fact and is just trying to impress Sally. He can't think that far ahead. Also, cushy lifestyle? Were all the Yagyu living in mansions? Khan then explains that he wouldn't have been able to think of a tactical plan that easily before he met her. So, once again, Sally and Khan are proving each other, though I don't see how hanging around with a smart person would magically make you just as smart as them on some occasions. I mean, he hasn't even been hanging around with her for that many days. On the bright side, Sally keeps his temper from going out of control and makes him smarter. So, of course they're not going to be allowed to end up together because they're not the official couple. The two have a good laugh, having great chemistry together, talking about how devious Khan's plan was, and Khan kisses her hand as she blushes and looks all bashful. Aww. Sally reminds him that they're on a time-sensitive mission, even though they could easily spare a couple minutes like this. Khan explains that the next clan is way more violent, and they'd be lucky to even find a shinobi chameleon. The story ends with the two of them seeing the Destructics talking to Sonic and Tails. This issue was by Ian Flynn. I was pleasantly surprised that Khan convinced the leader to renounce the Iron Queen through words. I thought for sure there would be a fight. And better yet, he managed to make a plan that would reduce the tribe to warring amongst themselves, which is promptly explained as being from Khan getting influenced to think ahead that well by Sally. She also shows she's a good influence on him by keeping him from losing his temper when he's really badly provoked by a chief who doesn't really think that far ahead. Also, Fiona shows up, says an insult that's way worse to Tails of all people when you'd think she'd hate Sally way more. I don't know, maybe that was a creator's pet moment on her part. Although that was more of Fiona's written badly thing in general than a Sally problem. And Fiona lures him and Sonic to the Destructics, who are somehow able to deal with Sonic's spin dash way easier than they should be able to. These guys all look like they have powers of their own because they all have such memorable designs, but the only one with real memorable powers is Predator Hawk, because of course he can fly as a bird. Why, aside from outnumbering the heroes, do these guys have such an easy time against a bunch of superheroes? That was easily the weak part of the story. I didn't like Tails having an egomaniacal rant either. It wasn't exactly in character for the humble genius to obsessively boast over his accomplishments like that from just one insult. And it's not explained as him feeling insecure either.